example 5 says find the quotient of each of the following. So remember, example 4, the very last one, we saw we came out with just a number, right?
Yep.
And we talked about the reason we came out with just that number is because we had multiplied those two things together. And we said they were called conjugates, right? So what it is they had, remember, the same pieces but a different sign. They're in the middle, which made the i's completely cancel out for us. So, for example 5, remember I is equal to what? No, almost. Yeah, I is the square root of -1. So technically on A, I'm going to write it like this and I'm going to erase it because we're not going to actually use it. But technically on A, I have 4 minus 7 times the square root of -1 on bottom, don't I? But can we have a radical on bottom of our fraction? No, so we have to get rid of it. And we get rid of it, remember, from before by multiplying by its conjugate when there's two terms like there is in A. So what is the conjugate of 4 minus 7i? 4 plus 7i, and what we do to the bottom? Very good. Do to the top.
But why did you change the sign?
Because when you multiply by the conjugate, which means you change the sign there in the middle, it's going to make the i's disappear. Okay? They're going to end up canceling out. So, lucky us, we get to do FOIL on top and bottom. All right, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just rewrite it here. So they're side by side so we can see that. Some of y'all like this step, some of y'all don't. Bless you. All right, so we went over FOIL really well yesterday, so we're going to go back through it now. So remember, F is for first, so 2 times 4 is outer. It says 2 times 7i, which is 14i. Inner, now be careful, that's a negative 3i, so negative 3i times 4 is negative 12i. And then last, negative 3i times 7i. And it's going to be over something. But I'm going to go ahead and keep working on the top right now. So we'll come back and do the bottom in a minute. All right, so on top, we see we have like terms in the middle. And we got to deal with that I squared. So we have 8. What is 14i minus 12i? Yeah, positive 2i. And then minus 21 times, what is I squared? And negative 1. Still got work to do on top, so I'm going to keep going. So now I can deal with this multiplication here. So we got 8 plus 2i. And what's the negative 21 times negative 1? Positive 21. And then we have like terms that we can combine. So remember, you put the real part first. That means your I is going to go at the end. So what is 8 plus 21? And then we have our plus 2i. All right, so that's just the numerator. Now let's go back and let's do our denominator. All right, so let's work in the denominator. So we're going to do FOIL again. So F is for first. 4 times 4 is 16. O is for outer, or outside. So 4 times 7i is 28i. Inner, now be careful, it's a negative 7i. So negative 7i times 4. Good, negative 28i. And then negative 7i times 7i. Negative 49 I squared. And then it's the same steps as when we did it just a minute ago here. We've got like terms and I squared. So we've got 16. What's 28I minus 28I?
0.
Yeah, it cancels. Good. I have minus 49 times, what is I squared?
-1.
So notice now in the denominator we don't have an I anymore, do we? Remember, that's what we wanted to get rid of. So we don't have a radical. Now I just need to simplify my denominator. So just like the step right above it, we're going to multiply. So we got 16. What is negative 49 times negative 1? And then just like the step above there, we're going to combine like terms. And then we have one final thing after we're done, bless you, is you got to check all three of the numbers here. Are they all divisible by some number?
Yes. Oh, wait.
29, 2, and 65.
No.
They're not. If they were, we would divide them all by it and reduce it. But since they're not, there's our answer.